husband who voted for Trump says he's still loyal to the president, despite his Peruvian wife being taken into ICE custody while returning home from their honeymoon. According to the New York Post, Bradley Bartell said, "I still support our president, despite the deportation of his significant other." Bartell went on to say that he assumed it was safe to travel to U.S. territory, Puerto Rico, but is now dealing with the stress of uncertainty and very limited daily contact with his wife.
A Trump voter is now in the find out phase as his wife is sitting in an ICE detention center ready to be deported. Now meet Bradley Bartell and his wife Camilla. There they are, the happy couple just married. Now he voted for Donald Trump even though his wife was here illegally. She originally came on a visa, but she overstayed that visa. And he supported Donald Trump despite his policies to deport people. Now he thought it would be somebody else, but on return from their honeymoon in Puerto Rico, ICE picked her up because she was on a database for overstaying her visa. And of course, these people are just beside themselves. They didn't think this would happen to them. They thought it would be the others. They thought Camilla would get to stay because she was originally vetted for her visa. She was working, she had a W-2, and she paid taxes. They thought she would be the last one in the clubhouse who could pull up the ladder and prevent everybody else from coming in. But now they're in the find out phase. And he is upset. He calls the condition she's in terrible. They can't believe they would do this to somebody. Well, he was ready for it to happen to somebody else. And welcome to the find out phase.
This is why we say the MAGA movement is a cult. Behind me are Bradley Bartell and Camila Munoz. They were married in February and went on their honeymoon in Puerto Rico. Keep in mind, when you go on a honeymoon in Puerto Rico, you are not leaving the United States. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. Something else you should know about Camila Munoz is that she did overstay her visa in the United States, but she was getting her papers together to ultimately apply for U.S. citizenship. Just to put this in perspective too, Bradley here has a 12-year-old son, and Camilla was caring for this son as her own. So this is, in every sense of the word, a family. And the last piece of background info I want to give you here is that Bradley is a Trump supporter. The reason these two are so important is because Camilla was recently detained by ICE. When they returned from their honeymoon, while they were in the airport, an immigration agent pulled Camilla aside and asked her about her citizenship status. She explained that she is not a U.S. citizen and that she did overstay her visa, but she was working on applying for U.S. citizenship. At that moment, ICE detained her, and she has remained in a detention facility in Louisiana for the past several weeks. So what about this story indicates that the MAGA movement is a cult? Well, Bradley here is a Trump supporter. He was a Trump supporter. He is a Trump supporter, despite the fact that the guy he voted for implemented policies that locked Camilla, his wife, up in a ICE detention center for several weeks. And despite the fact that he hired an immigration attorney to try to get her out of that detention facility, he released a statement to Newsweek recently saying that he does not regret voting for Donald Trump. This is legitimately crazy. So just out of curiosity, I did ask ChatGPT to give me 5 indicators that you might be in a cult. And the very first one was extreme devotion to a leader or ideology. The group's leader is treated as infallible and their teachings are considered absolute truth. Questioning them is discouraged or punished. My heart goes out to this family. And this is just another example of how Donald Trump preys on the poorly educated and weaponizes them to divide the American people. And sometimes it's done without them even knowing it. It's a disgusting, disgusting situation. Something we should all learn from Camilla here too is that you are under no obligation to tell anyone your immigration status ever. Even if they have a warrant, just request to speak to a lawyer. You have no obligation to tell someone your immigration status. That's a fact.
So let me get this right, Mr. Bradley. You voted for Trump and thinking and believing that he was only going to deport illegal document people here. And now your wife is being deported? No, seriously, I don't mean to laugh. Let's talk about this. Because you didn't think about your wife and her paperwork before you voted for a man that was sending people back to their country? You didn't want to get your wife her citizenship yet? You thought she was untouchable because Trump don't lie. No, he don't lie. No, not at all. He doesn't. So now you and your wife is fighting for her life? For her not to be deported? You voted for him. You voted for him. Okay, goodbye. Have a good day.
A Trump voter is now in the find out phase as his wife is sitting in an ICE detention center ready to be deported. Now meet Bradley Bartell and his wife Camilla. There they are, the happy couple just married. Now he voted for Donald Trump even though his wife was here illegally. She originally came on a visa, but she overstayed that visa. And he supported Donald Trump despite his policies to deport people. Now he thought it would be somebody else, but on return from their honeymoon in Puerto Rico, ICE picked her up because she was on a database for overstaying her visa. And of course, these people are just beside themselves. They didn't think this would happen to them. They thought it would be the others. They thought Camilla would get to stay because she was originally vetted for a visa. She was working, she had a W-2, and she paid taxes. They thought she would be the last one in the clubhouse who could pull up the ladder and prevent everybody else from coming in. But now they're in the find out phase. And he is upset. He calls the conditions she's in terrible. They can't believe they would do this to somebody. Well, he was ready for it to happen to somebody else. And welcome to the find out phase.
Did you hear about the Trump supporter who fucked around and now his wife is finding out? Child. Meet Bradley Bartell and Camila Munoz. Bradley, an American citizen and Trump supporter, voted for Trump knowing two things. Number one, that Trump had ran his presidential campaign with one of the biggest promises being that he was going to crack down on illegal immigrants. And number two, that his wife, who was from Peru, came to America on a work/student visa that she had now overstayed, making her an illegal immigrant. I hate my wife, final boss. I guess Bradley was under the impression that because Camila was working and because she had no criminal record, that she would be safe. But was she safe? Is J-Lo a good singer? Because it's the same answer. So last month, Bradley and Camila were on their way home from their honeymoon in Puerto Rico when an immigration agent pulled Camila aside. They asked Camila if she was a U.S. citizen. She responds no, but her husband and her were taking the steps so that she could one day get her U.S. citizenship. They said, I'm going to stop you right there. Because we ain't asked all that. They said, we simply asked, are you a U.S. citizen? You said no, therefore we have a little wedding present for you. Snatched her ass right on up and took her to a detention center. Well, now Bradley says he regrets his vote for Trump and is calling people heartless because they don't care that his wife now has concepts of housing. I'm gonna hold your hand with a napkin in between when I say this. You are getting exactly what you voted for. Trump was very clear about his plans for people who are undocumented. You knew that your wife was undocumented. What the fuck did you expect? Unfortunately, there's been a tariff placed on thoughts and prayers, so I don't have those for you, but I do hope that you continue to get everything you voted for. Also, I'm thinking about having sushi for dinner tonight, so I don't know. Let me know how you feel about that. Hope this helps. Peace and love. Talk to you later.
So I have one question. Why is it? I've been seeing a lot of couples that are like multiracial couples, you know, it'd be a white man and like Indian woman, or a Indian man with a white woman, or a black man with a whatever, you know, someone that's immigrated here. Basically, their family or their culture was not indigenous to the United States. Why is it that those people in relationships with people that immigrated to the country cannot uphold policies that allow for immigration? I literally don't Donald Trump, your wife, these people that are not Americans by birth, why is it that you can be married to someone that is not American? You can accept them, but you cannot accept anyone else immigrating here. Make it make sense. I don't understand. I saw a couple. There's a white man and a woman that came from Peru. I'm going to tag their picture up here somewhere. And his wife got deported. She's in a jail cell right now. But he voted for Donald Trump. Please, somebody make it make sense. I don't understand. Please, somebody break it down for me. Break it down. I don't understand. Why is it okay for you to have your wife, but other people can't have theirs? Why is it okay for you to have your family, but people cannot have theirs? The level of indecency and just other isms, it's not me. it's not mine. So it's okay. You can rough up, you can ostracize, you can block other people from coming. But when it's my family and when it's my wife, oh, they're allowed to come. It can't be both ways. You either accept immigrants or you don't. You either accept people that love each other and want to get married to each other, or you don't. I don't get it. Make it make sense.
We have some news right now. A man voted for Donald Trump, and now his wife is sitting in an ICE detention center. This story involves Bradley Bartell and Camila Munoz. According to USA Today, the two of them have been together for several years now. Last month, they were on their way home to Wisconsin after honeymooning in Puerto Rico when an immigration agent pulled her aside in the airport, asked if she was an American citizen. She wasn't. But they had taken legal steps so that one day she might get U.S. citizenship, so they felt comfortable enough to travel to Puerto Rico. And while now she's in an ICE detention facility, millions of Americans, including Bartell, her husband, voted for Donald Trump on the promise that he would crack down on criminal illegal immigrations. But now they're having buyer's remorse because this effort has expanded to include immigrants whose application for legal status is in the countries under review. None of the women had criminal records. All were in the ongoing legal immigration process and felt comfortable boarding a domestic flight. And well, now Camila is in a nice detention center and her husband is having buyer's remorse for his vote for Donald Trump. I'm going to continue highlighting these stories both on here and on my Substack, so be sure to subscribe for free at the link in my bio. Follow along for all the news you need to know about.
So this is what is called FAFO. They play around and they found out. They voted for MAGA and now they found out. And they're going to be migrated because when Donald Trump decided to run for office, he said he's going to send people back home, the people who came into America undocumented. So basically he voted. This is what he voted for. So Kama is a bitch. That is the reality. I'd love to hear from you guys. What's your comment?